Hello, welcome back to Constituent Marking with Fred Long on Proof Text. And we're looking at 1 Thessalonians 1, 2. So last time we got started, we saw the senders and the addressees, Paul and Silvanus and Timothy. He's writing to the church in Thessaloniki, and he had grace and peace to you. He offered a greeting. Well, now we're gonna go to another section. And we know that because we actually have a syndeton. There's no connector right there. And that's because we're getting started with a discourse. So let's go ahead and read this Greek text and I'll mark it up. You can see the legend down below. And then we'll do a little bit of commentary as well, exposition and commentary. But we'll talk about the Greek stuff first. So, Evcharistumen to theo pantote peri panton umon mnian piumeni epiton prasevkon emon. All right. So let's look at that first word, Evcharistumen. We give thanks. So we cut off the ending. This is from Evcharisteo. It is a contract verb. And so this ending, oo, is lengthened because there's been an epsilon added to an omicron. And so we have a lengthening to oo. So this is indeed first plural from Evcharistevo. Means I give thanks. So in the plural, it's we give thanks. Present tense, so ongoing. We're giving thanks to God. Now at first I might put a dotted underline under here, but then I recognize that indeed this verb takes the dative case for its direct objects. Okay, so I'm going to put a double underline because indeed it is a direct object of this verb. Okay, so how do I know that? Well, I learned that in beginning Greek, but you also can look up in lexicons, and it'll explain the normal cases for direct objects and indirect objects and that kind of stuff. So we give thanks to God. All right, we give thanks to God. Pantote. So here I'm going to put a dotted box around pantote because this is an adverb. We're looking at adverb here. Always. Pantote means always. It's from two words, pan and tote. They've been added together. So tote means like, it's a time word meaning then or something like that. Pan meaning always. So basically this is a way of just saying always. All and always. And then the recipients of this prayer is indicated by the peri. Peri starts a prepositional phrase, and so I use parentheses markers. And then I'm looking for where it ends. Now, panton is an adjective that is simply just modifying the pronoun umon. So umon is a second person pronoun, plural genitive. Peri takes the genitive. So panton is just an adjective. Yeah. And so with adjectives, you simply just mark them according to what they're with. So in this case, I don't need to do anything other than that. I just put that inside the parentheses because it's a prepositional phrase. All right, so then I come across the second part of this verse, menian pi umeniu epiton pros evkon emon. So right away, I see a prepositional phrase, and I'm going to start a parentheses right there, right before epi. And then I see that it ends after amon. Amon is a genitive, and it means, our prayers. It's modifying, amon means our. It's genitive plural. And it is a first person personal pronoun, so it means our. It's modifying pros evkon, prayers, plural. Epi can take the genitive, and epi can mean a lot of different things, but here I think it just simply, we can say it means in. And so now, in our prayers, or on the basis of, or in our prayers, something like that. So now we're left to figure out what's going on with menean pi umenu. Well, poiumenu is a participle. So I cut off that ending. It's from pieo. It is an epsilon contract verb. It's starting a circumstantial clause, a circumstantial participle clause. This is nominative, so it's plural. It's agreeing with the main verb. So this ending is in agreement with that. And so what's happening here is we have a subordinate clause, and we're gonna identify that with brackets, and we're gonna say that it ends right here at the end of this verse, although it might extend beyond that, but that's all we have right now. So this is a subordinate clause with this participle clause, a circumstantial participle clause, making meneon. Meneon means remembrance, and I'm going to double underline that because indeed that is a direct object. So making remembrance in our prayers. So I give thanks to God always concerning all of you, making remembrance in our prayers. Okay, so this is a circumstantial participle. It's adding a circumstance. And if you know anything about me and my Koine Greek grammar, I've developed a model where we can study these, what are called circumstantial participles, and this one is located after the main verb. So the main verb is we give thanks. So this is called a post-positioned or post-nuclear, and there are three possible functions, and one of the functions is explanatory, and that's what we have here is a nice explanatory participle. What that means is that this making remembrance is explaining more about the giving of thanks. So this giving of thanks to God is filled out by this explanation. Is and particularly, why is Paul's always giving thanks for you all? What's the circumstance under which he does that? Well, the explanation is that he's always making remembrance in our prayers. So yeah, this making of remembrance is explaining more about Paul's constant giving of thanks. That constant giving of thanks is occurring because Paul is making remembrance in his prayers. So we don't know what Paul's prayer life was like, but I think it was daily, maybe throughout the day, certain times of day, but he must have been praying for his churches daily, and he gives thanks as he is making a remembrance in his prayer. Now, this idea of remembrance, I think is really worth exploring a bit more. I think it's like a monument of some kind. I suspect that there's some larger social meaning to this that is important. It's almost like it concretizes this act of praying by making it like a memorial. Anyway, there's something more to be thought about there. But, do we pray to such an extent that it becomes a memorial in a sense? Yeah. And he's doing this constantly. Both the participle here and the main verb are present tense, which suggests ongoingness. All right, well, that's 1 Thessalonians 1:2. I hope you found that helpful. Hope to have you listen and watch next time. Take care.